Our first step is to choose a poem we'd like to translate. And the poem we've got now to look at is Das Roseninnere. There are recordings online, so if you open the PowerPoint presentation that goes with this, you can click on that link and find a recording. But now I'm going to read it to you first. As you listen, whether you understand German or not, don't worry about the sense at this stage. Let's just listen to the sounds and see what you notice about the rhymes, about perhaps the structure of the poem, how it feels, the pace of it. And then at the next stage, we'll start to break it down, decode it, and work out what's going on. So let's listen now. Wo ist zu diesem Innen ein Außen? Auf welches Weh legt man solches Linnen? Welche Himmel spiegeln sich drinnen in dem Binnensee dieser offenen Rosen, diese sorglosen, sieh, wie sie lose im Losen liegen, als könnte nie eine zitternde Hand sie verschütten. Sie können sich selber kaum halten, viele ließen sich überfüllen und fließen über vom Innenraum in die Tage, die immer voller und voller sich schließen, bis der ganze Sommer ein Zimmer wird, ein Zimmer in einem Traum. So, relatively short poem, but there's quite a lot going on, lots of rhyme, which should be fun to play with when we get to that stage. For now, though, will it be useful to have some context? We don't always need context. Sometimes you might find a poem that you can translate perfectly well without knowing who it's by or when it was written, but it can help us to make sense of the images, what's going on, and of the language used by the writer, the poet. So Rainer Maria Rilke was a modernist poet writing in the early 20th century, so it's over 100 years ago. We should be aware of the language might be dated. It might be a bit different to what's in dictionaries that you maybe have at school or at home, or even the dictionaries online. I think his language is not so different, but this is just something that's useful to be aware of. Also, the fact that he grew up in Prague, not in Germany, but in a German-speaking part of Austria-Hungary. So it's possible that his dialect is a bit different to what we think of as standard Hochdeutsch now. Again, I don't think there's any major differences in his language, but it's, like I say, something it's useful to be aware of. What's also a helpful context is that this is one of many poems that Rilke wrote, which have become known as Dinggedichte or thing poems. They seem on the surface to be about this object, so here, die Rosen, the roses, but then they sort of go beyond that object to explore abstract ideas and emotions, and we have that in this poem too. So the next stage is to start to translate it word by word, line by line, work out what's the gist of the poem. So let's crack open our dictionaries and have a look. I'm actually going to skip the dictionary looking up stage and show you a translation that I prepared earlier, but we'll go through it and talk about how I found some of those words and how I went about it.